Hey everybody, Ethan here, and you're on my side of the room. It's been a while since I've done one of these talk to the camera videos, but it's time to do it and talk about what happened as of this filming last night. So what I did was, I went to an open mic for the first time in a while. Not the one at Rock Pit Brewing that I went to before, but there's an organization locally called Gigs for Grabs. And what they do is fill cancellations. And so this is an extremely touristy area. And because of that, I didn't realize until I got accepted into their Facebook group that just the sheer volume of touristy gigs in the area. So there you go, in the Orlando area, that, there's gigs. There's definitely gigs. They may not be great gigs, but they're gigs. You can be poolside somewhere, you could be in a hotel lobby somewhere, you could be in a restaurant somewhere, you could be at a brewery or a winery, you could be all kinds of places. And that's just solo acoustic. You could be a duo, you could be a trio, you could be a band, the whole bit. But what I'm really noticing that this thing favors more than anything is acoustic solo. And I've always been daunted by that. I always thought that if I played acoustic in a band, it would be in a band. And there's, if I ever played musically acoustic, like singing and playing, it was going to be as part of a band and not just me alone. And then at the time, like way back when, and again, we're talking about the 90s, I would go to open mics to check it out, and I would not bring an instrument. I would just go check it out and be completely, not put off, but definitely intimidated. Because all the guitar players played fingerstyle, and everything was all like this big epic ballad about whatever. In fact, literally one was about cabinetry. Literally a guy did this epic ballad about cabinetry, and it was really serious, and he was all over the place with his fingerstyle. And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't write songs about cabinetry, and I don't play fingerstyle this and this, and so no, I'm Strummy McGee here, Cowboy Cards Are Us. And finally, I was really getting psyched out. And I messaged the group. And I said, look, I really want to go to this open mic, but I'm really freaking out. Which it's risky to say that in this kind of context, but it's like, just, you got to be honest, like, hey, I'm freaking out. I really feel like, the talent level is such that you're looking for that it's just going to be like, just talent, not talent, but skills I don't have. I don't play fingerstyle. I don't play finger flat picking, this and this, and I don't play lead. So, and I said, is sing and strum okay? And they said, well, yeah. They said, that happens a lot here, actually. That's most of the time people sing and strum, and it's perfectly fine. Like, well, hell, I've been doing that since, I was like 20 or whatever. Like, I can do that. Well, you can do that in theory, and then in Bubble World, and then there's actually doing it up on the stage. So, I did it, and here's the thing, I'm not going to put the songs up here, sadly, because I'm really not happy with how they turned out. What I found out after was, the way that I'm holding the neck is a problem. And today I watched a bunch of videos as to how to compensate for this. And they just over and over kept saying, if you can somehow get your fingers to bend so you're coming straight on to the string and not coming at a, like we'll say 45-degree angle, then that's better. Well, if I'm doing a G, my finger is going to kind of do that. It's going to go kind of lay across, and there's not a lot I can do about it. And in and of itself, that's not really a problem, but when I lift this finger as part of it to kind of like, alternate notes, it's a problem because the string buzzes up against my finger, and it doesn't mute it, but it buzzes and makes like an insect buzzing. So I got my phone sitting there, I'm recording myself. I can't wait. I'm going to have 3 songs worth of material I can put on YouTube. It's going to be so awesome. And what I got instead was the candid audio of the people running the soundboard saying, what the hell's going on? And them feverishly trying to correct the sound problem that was me. And then you can even hear them on the camera say, oh, it's him. it's, he's doing something to the strings that's causing this problem, and we gotta live with it for 2 or 3 songs. And it was 3 songs. The other thing that happened to me was I brain farted in my own song. So I did original, cover, original. Taking unfair advantage of the fact it was 3 songs instead of 2. I practiced 2 religiously. And the song that I brain farted on was my own song. So it'd be one thing if I blew the cover, but here I blow my own thing. And it was so embarrassing. And I got through it, and I've studied enough YouTube footage and stuff to know, like, if you mess up, try to just, smile and wave and just get through it, and don't make a big thing about it. Well, I couldn't shake it. You know what I mean? It's like I was really upset that I blew my own song that I just rehearsed before I went to the show and everything, and I wrote it, and I how do I not know my own material? It's ridiculous. And my brain just went completely empty. Right at a critical point when I was really building up the sound and everything in the song, and then just blurf. And the crowd was nice about it. Luckily for me, it was not a very big crowd. Not luckily for me, there were not a lot of people there to play. I really wanted a bunch of people to go ahead of me. And that didn't really happen. So, oh well. But the other thing, too, is I really, really, really wanted to get on their approved list so that when they do say, hey, we need somebody to come down to iDrive or stand next to a swimming pool or go to this hotel lobby and sing and strum for 3 hours, it's like, I can do it. And they're like, their criteria is like, you really get the fast pass if you go to this event and you go to their open mic and you demonstrate anything. Just get up there, play, show them you can do it. They can film you with, like, say, their phone. And I saw one of the organizers whipping out her phone and filming select people. I don't think I got that kind of treatment. Maybe I did. I don't recall seeing it. Partly because I was so hung up on my own performance that I wasn't really paying that level of detail attention. But I did notice a lot of faces like this from the people running the sound, the people organizing it, and again, the audience was nice about it, but at the end of it all, they weren't like, don't worry, like, you're on the approved list. Instead, my joke was, I'm going to go do this thing and get on some lists. I'm like, I got on the pay no mind and do not call lists. Well, that's how the story could end if I let it. And I'm not going to let it end like that. So here's a side note. I quit the CSL last month. And I don't really want to talk a lot about it. What I do want to say is that I've got my band, which I'm very happy with and very proud of. And then I had the CSL, which I do once a week. And, I've been doing it. I've been doing the CSL for over a year. I'm very, hand to God, I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I had to do it. I think it was the right thing at the right time to get me in that mode of getting up in front of people and having to, do different material than perhaps I would have sought out on my own. Barbara Streisand. Anyway, and this is well known with the music director. This is not news. Well, it wasn't like there was a big dust up or whatever. Instead, it's just things reached a point where it was untenable. I couldn't do both anymore. And something had to give, and what gave was that, because I have this. And they understood. They were sad to see me go, and the door is open for me to return if I wish to do so, but I'm just really, really, really focused on the band. I'm also focused on this alone and acoustic thing. Well, the thing is, though, I don't get that CSL money anymore. And it was nice when I was getting that. But again, this is also part of it. In fairness to them, because it's a church or, spiritual organization, I don't feel comfortable taking their money on something where it's like, if I can't give it my all, and just increasingly through the end of the year. I couldn't. Band was winning. And kind of it should, because it's my band. And it's something I've wanted for decades. And I finally have it. Whereas the CSL was not something that was like, my dream. And again, I wish no ill will. I'm not speaking ill when I say these things. I'm just being honest to say that it was untenable and I had to cut it out. But it's come at a literal cost. And the cost is I'm not getting that extra money anymore that was nice to have. And especially with the band. The band is costly, I'm finding. There's always these little expenses that crop up in such a way, like we haven't even hit the stage yet, and yet we're finding problems where it's like, well, we need this and we need that and we need this and we need that, and then me, the band leader, ends up buying it most of the time. I know there's a lot of school of thought about that, about whether or not the band leader should do it, but I've fallen on the side of the people who say, if you're the band leader and it's your band, yeah, it's going to be your money. That's until you're doing something else to rake in some dough with the music, the money's going to come from somewhere, and it's probably going to come from you. All right, fine. Enter gigs for grabs. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to really give this my all. I'd gotten rid of the guitar only to bring it back again. And I was like, okay, the reason why it's here, so the CSL would say the divine mind knows that things are cooking here, and the divine mind already knows what is happening. And so to that end, it's like, so here's the guitar, and the divine mind knows that you're going to go out and play alone and acoustic. Not like the band is going to fall apart. It's that, okay, the need has arisen for this extra money. It was untenable to keep doing the CSL, but what could be the better way to go would be, all right, I will augment by doing alone acoustic stuff, and then we can scale up. I can go from alone acoustic, we could do Jack and I as a duo, we could do Jack Manor and I as a trio, we can do the four of us as a, I was going to say a quadtet, a foursome. And that's actually what we are right now, is our saxophone player quit. And so we went from 5 people down to 4. So anyway, we're adjusting. With that being the case, I'm like, all right, now that I know that strummy, singy stuff is viable, and that I could pull down, say, 150 a gig, just raw, like that the venue is going to pay you the 150, and then if you can get tips out of the deal, even better. But just that base rate, 150, all right, for 3 hours, sure. I mean, it's more than I make in my day job, why not? And you it's like Uber in a way, where you can pick and choose when you want to do it. So it's not like, the CSL where you're on a set schedule. Instead, if it's like, it's a Friday night and you've got availability, and then they say, quick, get over to the poolside on iDrive or whatever. Like, okay, here I go. I got my guitar. I'm going to rush over there like a traveling doctor or something, and get that money. And that would help. It would definitely help offset some costs and whatnot. That's not happening right now, because I didn't deliver the goods in a way that got me in the good graces of the organizers, as far as I know. Now, they might be in the comments like, you asked, we were totally wanting to say you could be fine with all this, but it's like, I don't feel like I really sold that. And so I really am looking forward to a rematch, to go back out there, do another one of these things, do better, apply what I learned, and then get on the correct list instead of do not call and pay no mind. Now get on the, hey, if this guy says he's available, he's all right. We vouch for him because we saw him play and we know what he can do. Everybody has a bad night here and there. So I don't feel like they're going to hold it against me like, oh, he was that guy who was here last week and he was terrible, so forget it. Like, we're not even listening. I don't think that's the case at all. I really think that they're willing to just be kind of like, not ready today. Keep coming. Like, they didn't kick me out of the group, so that was half the battle. But here's the thing, like to close out. I say a lot, this is bubble world. And here in bubble world, it ain't reality. It's a highly controlled environment. Now, you might not think so, like wherever you practice. It could be your bedroom, it could be in a space like this, it could be on your porch, it could be in your car, wherever you do it. You know, it's like, oh, this isn't a very controlled environment at all. It's, you know, my car, and it's dusty, and it's got wrappers in it or whatever. It's like, but the point being, you're not in front of a crowd. You don't have a microphone. You're not under the lights. You don't, there's no PA, the whole bit. All the moving parts that could possibly go wrong or work against you don't exist in that sort of space. So here I have all the PA that I deigned to create for myself, namely plugging into my little mixer and hearing myself. If I wanted to bring our PA home from the band, I could. I don't know what that's going to do for me, but I could. But I'm still not going to get the real experience of being in front of a crowd. So what I'm saying to those of you where this might be an issue is, bubble world, you can say you're going to do whatever you want. You can rehearse, you can practice, you can plan, you can pick your songs, you can pick your instrument, you can say yes to this and no to that. And what it's kind of like is saying, I'm going to get in a fight tomorrow. And when I do, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And that's fine because it's theoretical. There's no opponent. But you go to the fight and you say, the minute you did this, they already went bam and hit you right in the nose. And your nose is broken. And it's like, oh man, I didn't have my hands up high enough, or I should have stood further back or something. And now I got a broken nose. So that's kind of what it's like. That's somebody said to me years ago, we all need a place to go to be bad. And there was a place in Illinois that served that purpose for some blues bands that we would go see. And it was the same situation about, you know, us and 4 other people would show up, and if there was a cover, it was like $1, you know, and we weren't there looking for, like, you know, who's got talent or who's the next blues idol or whatever. We went there because it was cheap. It was cheap entertainment. And you never knew. Like, someone could like just completely surprise you and come out and just completely guns blazing in a place that you wouldn't think that they would do that. And it would occasionally happen. But by and large, it was like a lot of people were, it was like, okay, still need to work on that. Like, not just the music, but work on that being on stage thing. Like, my all-time favorite was this kid. And it was this kid playing the guitar, and he was just completely a deer in the headlights for the entire hour. And we kind of pulled him aside, like, you know, you got to get that confidence up. He's like, oh my God, I was so scared. Like, cover was $1. And most of the place wasn't even going to listen to you guys, you know. But in that way, like, I ain't even mad, right? I mean, I'm mad at myself for messing up. I'm mad at myself that I didn't know that there were these issues. Now I'm happy that I do know. Somebody even took the time to look at my guitar and figure out, is it the guitar's problem or my problem? Then he had me make some chord moves, and he was like, there it is. It's you doing it, not the guitar, and it's not the PA. Like, all right, okay. Now I know. Now I go back to Bubble World, and I know what to work on for next time, and I don't walk away with a broken nose. And what I do hopefully walk away with is footage I can put on YouTube to show you guys of what I look like and sound like playing alone on acoustic. I can totally set that up here. I could sit here right now and play some of my songs, but it's not the same. You're not going to get the crowd noise. You're not going to get the everything else noise. You're not going to get the PA. You're not going to get the lights, the whole bit. So in that way, it's not a very good representation. Like, if you're trying to get gigs, there are people, like, they go to a rehearsal studio and stuff like this. At least they can do like fog machines and stuff, and again, approximate the experience of playing live enough for the booking agents and the promoters and stuff to be like, yeah, all right, yeah, we buy it that, you guys are a band that know how to play together. But if you can provide actual on-stage footage, then that's really gold. And that's what I need, want, and don't have. So that's my goal for next time. Might be this coming Monday, might be 2 weeks, but it will be again. Anyway, having said all that, keep learning, keep playing. I will catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And keep an eye on the band because you never know what we'll be doing next.